So if you're watching this video, you've probably made the decision to exit the rat race and modern slavery. And number one, I want to praise you for that because it is a tough decision to make. And the way you're gonna do that is with your own SMMA, with your own social media marketing agency. Now, I have had my own social media marketing agency for a while now, and it's doing okay, I guess, a couple of thousand deals here and there. But yeah, so right now I want to talk to you about how you can get the same results that I have or even better results, and how you can build your own social media marketing agency, whether that's a goal for you for 2019 or you just wanna escape the rat race. And let's get right into it. So number one, the point I want to make right now is if you want to build your social media marketing agency, the number one thing you should learn is sales. 100%, no arguments here. Because let me tell you a quick story. So when I started my social media marketing agency, I was 16 years old. Right now I'm 17. When I started my social media marketing agency, I was 16 years old. When I started, I had tried dropshipping. I failed at that. I had tried, personal branding. I was mildly successful at that. I was able to gather 13,000 followers from my personal brand. And with that, I learned how to do Facebook ads and how to properly do social media marketing. And I was getting really, really frustrated because I saw big companies, I saw other agencies being far more successful than me when I knew, and when I looked at their work, it was far, far worse than mine was. My work was legitimately superior than there. But I couldn't get any clients. Like, nobody was coming to me. When I would go to meetings, nothing would happen. I would not be able to sign anybody. And maybe that's the same. You're in the similar place or in the same place as I am right now. And let me tell you this, sales. You're not good at sales. And sales is something that a lot of people just fall back into. Nobody goes into, like most people when they start their careers, nobody goes into their careers or their jobs thinking about, oh yeah, I'm gonna be a salesman. Oh yeah, I'm gonna learn sales. It's usually when you start your own business, you start failing, you're like, okay, I need money, I need sales. So I'm gonna learn sales. You kind of fall back into that field. So whatever you do, sales is gonna be the most important thing, because I'm gonna cover partnering up with people a little bit later down in this video. So stay tuned until the end of this video, to get the full value. But no matter what you do, sales is going to be really important. Let's just look at a couple of scenarios here. So one of my friends, he's from, I'm not going to say his name, but he's from New York. And his area of expertise is actually like Facebook ads and advertising. His goal here, he's not that good at sales from ground up. He's pretty terrible at that. And his goal with this was to get other people who are good at sales to sell for him. Now, the problem here is to get other people that to sell for you, you need to sell them on the idea for selling for you. Again, a lot of word sales and a lot of sales terminology here. Well, that is actually true, because let's say, even if you want to get a partner, you need to be good at sales to sell them on the idea of partnering with you. If you want to get an employee, you need to sell them on the idea that you're going to be a good employer. It's all about sales, no matter what you do. Even if you're going into the corporate rat race, if you want to get a regular job, you still need to be good at sales. Now, I know I've been using terms like rat race and regular job. Now, if you are living in your own house, not living in a situation I was in when I was 16. I was living with my parents, and I could, if I didn't have money, I would live on. Now, if you are like 20 plus years old and actually living outside your house, and if you're starting a social media marketing agency, I just want to get this out the way. You need a job, because who the fuck is going to pay for your bills and for food, right? If you're starting out in that situation, you need a job. And only when you're making money with your agency, only then you can quit your job. That's just something I quickly wanted to get out the way. But now, to get back to my point, no matter what you do, you need to be good at sales. And the man I was talking about from New York, his situation was, he knew Facebook ads, he knew how to fulfill the client work, but he could not get a partner. He could not get a partner. He would meet people, but eventually they would go out to build SMAs together with other people. How could that happen? It's mainly because he was bad at sales. Even though his service was good, the fact that he was bad at sales didn't change anything. Now, look, you can have the best service on earth. Like, imagine the best service on earth in terms of everything. But if you're bad at sales, if you cannot get any clients, it doesn't matter at all. It does not matter. And now, number one part to learn sales is, guys, I'm gonna be frank with you. My channel, it's designed to help people start their own social media marketing agency, start their own business in general. So, since I'm a big believer in sales and in learning sales, I have a lot of videos on that. So click the subscribe button. But yeah, you can just, after watching this video, just go around and you'll see a lot of content about sales. And in a lot of situations you might be in, even if you're working a 9-to-5 job, how to do sales, even if you're going to school, how to do sales, and a lot of tips on that, how to become more efficient in that. But now, to learn sales, you really need to go and practice. And to practice, you need to stop being a fucking bitch, right? Boom, demonetized video, but the monetization isn't as important on this as being truthful. To properly learn sales, you need to stop being a bitch. That means you need to go out there, do cold calls. That means you need to go out there, go to meetings. That means you need to go out there, be in uncomfortable situations until you take them to the point of comfortability. Now, a good example of this is one of my most successful students, and you're gonna hear about him quite a lot of times, is Philip. In 1 month within my mentorship, he was able to go from $400 a month to $10K. Now, here's actually one invoice, which is pretty crazy, for fucking like $7,000 a month in dollars. It should be on the screen right now. But yeah, the reason he was able to do that, because quick story about him. He was doing SMMA for 3 years straight. Now, within these 3 years, he had been able to get a couple of clients here and there, but a problem was that those clients, number one, wouldn't stick with him for a longer period of time, even though he was good at sales. And number two was, when a client would eventually go away from him, he would struggle to get new clients on. He would struggle to get meetings, and he would struggle to, get clients overall. And this again comes to the point of sales. Now, when we got on the mentorship, I quickly identified that this was the problem. Then once I did, we really dwelled deep into understanding what his problems were. And it all relied into him not being comfortable and him being a fucking bitch. By this I mean, he would not be able to do cold calls because he would be afraid of that. He would not be willing to do them because of his fear. He would not be able to, do well in meetings, again, because of his fear. His fear was limiting. And then one day I remember speaking to him, we sit down on our Skype call, and I remember telling him this is a good thing you can do with yourself. All right, Philip. So right now, I don't care about the situation you're in right here, right now. I don't fucking give a shit about that. Now, what comes between us is you need to do the cold calls, right? You need to set the meetings with cold calls. And I know the script you have right now, it is going to get results. So you told me right now you haven't set almost any meetings, and that's because you haven't done any calls. So tomorrow, 70 cold calls. 70. No excuses. I don't give a shit about that. He was like, but I'm going to the countryside to visit my family. I'm like, I don't give a shit about that. Okay? Tell me through your day, how's it gonna go? Okay, yeah, I'm gonna wake up at that time. Our flight is at, he told me his flight was at like 4. They're gonna be at that time. I'm like, okay, your flight's at 4. What's stopping you from doing cold calls from 9 to 12? He was like, yeah, fair point, Reinis. Now, you see, don't fucking try to find excuses. If you truly want to achieve something, let's say learn sales, set learning sales as as your main goal, as your northern star, and optimize for that. Then take steps back to understand how can you optimize the month for that, how can you optimize the week for that, how can you optimize today and tomorrow for that. Write that down on a piece of paper and like to-do list, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? I want to get more clients. What do I need to do for that? I need to do more cold calls. I need to get better at sales. I need to get more meetings. Okay, how can you get more meetings, more cold calls, more selling, stuff like that. Eventually you do that, boom, you get meetings. Once you get meetings, you get clients. It's as simple as that. Stop being a bitch and just sitting around. Now, sales is a broad topic, so as I mentioned, I have referred other videos about that go a little deeper into that. So yeah, right now let's talk about the next step which goes into this, and this is finding partners. And now a lot of people overlook this. They truly overlook this. They try to do many things themselves, and what ends up happening is you end up losing. Well, there have been many people who do it successfully, such as for my marketing agency, myself, I have done that. But I want to tell you a story, quick story right now. On, what was it, November, yeah, at the end of the November, I think it was the 25th, I actually did a case study on this exact thing. I don't remember the exact dates, but whatever. At the end of November, I started a new agency. It was a chatbot agency. It's pretty much like a marketing agency, just designed to work with one tool exclusively. And for that, I paired up with another guy from California. Now, if I would have done it myself, it would have taken me probably around a month to get my first client, just because of network I was in, and then the people I knew at the time. I wouldn't find not anybody, but I wouldn't find many people who would be interested in that tool that I was creating. Now, when I paired up with that guy, of course I had to give up some equity. I gave up 50% of the company, which we were building, because we were coming in as partners. But I knew that it would be better for me to partner up with him rather than do everything myself. And these are results. Literally, within 8 days, we made $13,000, just like that. Now, with these $13,000, it was $13,325. I kept only half of that, which is around $7K. Now, I kept $7K. You might be thinking, oh yeah, you could have done it yourself and made $14K. Easy. That wouldn't be the case, because as I told you, it would have taken me 1 month to make that kind of money. And 1 month, it could have been around anywhere from 1.5K to 2.5K. Even though it's still a pretty high number, and I keep more of the profits, it's still, we're not getting as much cash in as I did in 8 days, right? And within those 8 days, it took us, our month was fully booked to fulfill the client work, deliver the results. Now, we did outsource some VAs, but still, these are some pretty heavy lifting duties we had to do. And just as simple as that, you see, our partners can help. Now, to get a good partner, this is something I'm going to be releasing later down the line. I'm going to be releasing the Dark Matter for Success. That's going to be a video module, around 30 minutes training video. But what I really delve into that is how to polarize success, how to pull success towards you. And now, within this video, I talked about the 5 layers of your mind, and one of the layers is mental awareness. Mental awareness stands for your self-awareness, your beliefs, and your identity. Really understanding that to the fullest level, really understanding that to the core, of those things. Now, before you actually go get a partner, you need to truly understand what that is, who you are, your self-identity, your beliefs, and your self-awareness. Because if you don't, you're gonna end up getting the wrong partners in the wrong fields, 100%. And I tell this from my heart, that's my own experience, because I remember back in Okay, no, yeah. Like, long story short, I have worked with a bunch of wrong business partners. Now, what a lot of people don't know, but I don't even talk about this as much. Right now, I have two SaaS businesses. So SaaS stands for service, software as a service. Now, for these services, I have for each one of them, I have a different business partner. Now, these business partners, them and me, us working in a dynamic duo has been the single-handed reason we're able to operate so well in these companies. Now, we are nowhere near successful right as of right now, but we're operating well. We're operating fairly easily. And again, it all comes down to the partner. It all comes down to the partner. And I understand that in these SaaS businesses, I would be the person who could be taking a step back, more or less like looking over the systems, looking over getting employees in, and looking over the client work fulfillment. While the other guy, he could be working more in the sales department, right? Getting people on, selling, making advertisements, launching ads, doing all that kind of stuff. Like, I can do that, but in this case, in case of these SaaS businesses, I understood my own identity in which fields I could operate better in. And those were the fields I would operate better in, so I stick to those. I didn't go into stuff I couldn't succeed in. Like, I couldn't deliver my results in. Now, I went to the fields I knew 100% if I would go into, we could succeed. And this all comes down to your self-awareness. Now, if you know what you're good at, this is gonna be easy for you. But the problem is, most people out there, they don't know what they're good at. They know what they wanna be good at. Now, let me tell you an example. This was me when I discovered Gary Vaynerchuk. And a lot of people probably getting into SMMA space and then watching my content, you have probably experienced Gary Vaynerchuk. Now, that is actually, like, I really respect what he talks about, and he's a good way to get into business. But later, as you grow on, once you look past all the just motivation, almost no value in it. This is more for when people grow out of that. You understand that. Now, he talks about doing a lot of things yourself, but you don't want to be doing that. You don't want to be learning everything yourself. You want to be sticking into the fields you're good in. Now, if you know that you're good at fulfilling the client work, go ahead, do that. But you should still learn the basics of sales so you can actually get a good partner. And now also with self-awareness, self-identity, it's difficult to truly understand that, and you really need to go into. I talked about opening up the third eye and your pineal gland, which is actually like your actual third eye, which is which is located at the middle of your mind, which is like kind of an eye, which actually a lot of people think is the last eye because it still responds to light and it acts. It is actually connected with your eyes, but that's a whole nother different story. But you truly need to understand to who you are truthfully, because a lot of people, when they watch like Gary Vaynerchuk, stuff like that, they think to themselves, oh yeah, I want to be CEO this, CEO that. Well, not necessarily. Like, right now, if I had to make a company, whatever it would be, I would stick into the field of marketing and systemizing and sales. Those main fields: marketing, systemizing, sales. Those would be my fields I gotta get in. I would not be fucking around with taxes, legal stuff. I know the basics of it, but I don't just want to get into that because that's not my expertise. And this is the point I wanted to make earlier with Gary Vaynerchuk and a lot of people who watch him. It's a lot of people who watch him. They just wanna be the CEO. They just want to be ahead of the company. When a lot of times it's not necessarily the best thing to do. A lot of times you need to be working a little bit lower. He actually talks about this a lot, but the whole craze with entrepreneurship, people are just blinded by that. Now, next thing I want to talk about is the biggest mistakes people make. So yeah, right now we're talking about the two most important things I feel like it comes to social media marketing. Number one, learning sales. Number one, getting good partners to complement your weaknesses and your strong points. and that's about like building the agency itself. Now there are many little things you have to go into. This is why again I'm gonna refer to my channel, because that's usually the things I talk about. But now I'm gonna go into the biggest mistakes a lot of people make when they start their own marketing agency. And before we start that, guys, I just want you to take a quick look at how amazing all of this weather looks. Like, goddamn. And actually I did that just to see how for how long this video has been, and it's been 20 minutes. So I need to kind of start wrapping this up. So yeah, number one, when I talk about the biggest mistakes a lot of people make when they get into social media marketing, I want to talk about sending proposals. And this is something I have to tell you from my own experience as well, because I remember starting out in sales, I would literally before going to meetings, I would sit down, I would understand, okay, what do they need? How much are they earning? Let me just grab the best proposal they have ever seen. And when I showed it to a couple of entrepreneurs, they were like, okay, yeah, this proposal looks good. Like the design, everything, it looks good. I was like, okay, I'm gonna get the deal 100%. Now I go into the meeting, I go through the script, I pitch, I show them the proposal. What usually happens, they say like, yo, yeah, we'll think about it. I feel happy that I'm gonna succeed, yeah, win, and I never hear back from them again. Never. Now, let's take a step backwards and analyze what happens here. Number one, proposals. Do not send or give out fucking proposals. Never, please, don't. Now, this is the biggest mistake I have done myself. Proposals, they have their own place, but not in a place of sales and selling the service. You don't do that there. And, like there's not much to talk about. Don't send proposals, send agreements and show agreements, right? An agreement essentially it's similar to a proposal, except, so the difference between a proposal and an agreement would be, a proposal would be like, hey, we do this, that's that much, we do that much, we do that much, this is the name of the package, the full price. And the proposals usually come in when you do packages, and this is a whole nother story. I'm gonna make a video on this, like why you shouldn't be doing packages at all, why is it terrible. But, like, yeah, don't do the proposals, do agreements. I'm gonna make a more in-depth video about this. Now, another thing, a lot of people, when starting out, the mistake they make, and I just wanted to quickly go into that, because I feel like this is a bigger mistake most people out there make, is they go into these, I call them high competition, low paying niches. Those are like restaurants, gyms, people like that. And this is a huge problem a lot of people get into, because then they start to complain, oh yeah, I'm not making any money. They get into the zone where instead of earning 1K a month, 2K a month, 3, 4, 5K a month, they're only earning around like 500 to 800 bucks a month from client. Right, that's a horrible situation to be in, because for a lot of people, your goal is to get to 6 figures, 100K and up. If you want to do that with a client that pays you 500 a month, how many clients would you have to get? Let me do the math. I'm horrible at math. I think that's around 17 clients. 17 clients, like, no matter if you're a big agency or a small agency, that's quite a lot of work. I'd rather have 2 clients, actually like 2 clients is too little. I'd rather have 3 clients, that adds up to 6 figures, than 17 clients. Not that good. And yeah, if you actually want to learn, I actually made a free training video plus a cheat sheet on the top 8 niches that have low competition. The top 8, I call them low competition, high paying niches. You can check that out in the description below. There's going to be a link to the free download link for the cheat sheet. I don't know what's up with my dog. What up, dog? What up, dog? Yeah, that's my doggo. Well, yeah. Okay, so yeah, this video is getting quite long, so I don't want to take too much time out of this. Hopefully you guys got some new nuggets in your notes, and if you didn't, well, shit. Hopefully you did though. So yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to watch on my other videos for, free training. And yeah, if you're on my blog, feel free to stick around and watch some other stuff. Same guys, thanks for watching. Peace.